Hello students, welcome to all of you. Myself Yogita Sangpal from Sadguru Gadge Maharaj College, Karad. We started the topic halogen derivatives and in that we completed the nomenclature of halogen derivative. And in the last lecture we started the methods of preparation for the halogen derivatives. And we have completed two methods of preparations, that is from alcohols and from hydrocarbons. Now in this lecture we will start with the next method of preparation, that is halogen exchange. Now in this halogen exchange method there are two named reactions. First is the Finkelstein reaction. The general reaction for the Finkelstein reaction is like this. Rx, that is alkyl halide, reacts with sodium iodide, that is NaI, in presence of a dry acetone, and we will get alkyl iodide and NaX, that is sodium salt of corresponding halide, as a precipitate. Now this X may be chlorine or bromine. We can take here chlorine or bromine as a X. An alkyl group, you can take any alkyl group in this reaction. In presence of a dry acetone or methanol, we have to carry out this reaction. Alkyl, the statement of the reaction is as like: alkyl chlorides or bromides on treatment with sodium iodide in a methanol or acetone solution gives alkyl iodides. Byproducts can be separated by filtration. The byproduct of this reaction, this precipitate of sodium salt, can be separated by filtration. This reaction is known as the Finkelstein reaction. Now here in place of X we take chlorine. So the general reaction is as like: RCl reacts with NaI in presence of acetone and we will get Ri, that is alkyl halide, and NaCl as a precipitate. Now in this reaction acetone is used, dry acetone or methanol is used as a catalyst to break the bond between the alkyl and this halogen. So the role of this catalyst is to break the bond between this alkyl group and the halogen. Now we will take the specific example. Here I take the example. CH3Cl reacts with sodium iodide in presence of acetone and we will get CH3I, that is methyl iodide, and sodium salt of this chlorine gets precipitate, that is NaCl gets precipitate. So this Finkelstein reaction is mainly used for the preparation of alkyl iodide. Here we get methyl iodide or iodomethane as a product of this reaction. Now in place of this we can take here bromine also. So next example is C2H5Br, that is ethyl bromide reacts with sodium iodide in presence of a methanol and we get C2H5I and NaBr as a precipitate, and this precipitate can be separated out by filtration. So what is the name of this compound? Iodoethane. So these are the examples for the Finkelstein reaction. Our next reaction is Schwarz reaction. Now this Schwarz reaction is mainly used for the preparation of alkyl fluorides. Alkyl fluorides are prepared by heating alkyl chlorides or bromides with metal fluorides such as AgF-AsF3. So we have to use metal fluorides like silver fluoride, arsenic fluoride, or we can take here antimony fluoride also. General reaction for this is as RCl, that is alkyl chloride, reacts with silver fluoride to get Rf, that is alkyl fluoride, and AgCl gets as a precipitate in this reaction. So here we take chlorine also. In place of chlorine we can take bromine also. So this is the general reaction. We take some examples. CH3Cl reacts with AgF. We heat this reaction mixture and we will get CH3F and AgCl as a precipitate. Our next method of preparation is electrophilic substitution reaction. Before starting to this reaction, you all know about the electrophiles. What are electrophiles? Electrophiles are electron deficient species which attract lone pair of electron or which can attack on the electron rich center. So we will start with this reaction. First method is preparation of aryl chlorides. Now in the 11th standard, in the topic hydrocarbons, you studied about this second reaction, that is formation of aryl chlorides or formation of aryl halides. Now what you know about the mechanism of this reaction? First, formation of electrophile takes place, and here which is electrophile, here Cl plus is a electrophile. This will attack on this benzene ring, and therefore here the carbocation is formed, and next step is the removal of hydrogen or removal of proton from this reaction, and then the formation of chlorobenzene takes place here, and the byproduct of this reaction is HCl. So you all know about this reaction and how this reaction takes place. You have to revise this electrophilic substitution reaction. In this reaction, FeCl3, AlCl3 are used as a catalyst, and the reaction is carried out in a dark. So here from benzene reacts with a chlorine in presence of FeCl3 in a dark, and we get chlorobenzene as a product, and HCl is the byproduct of this reaction. So in this first reaction we take the toluene. This compound is known as the toluene, and this toluene reacts with chlorine in presence of Fe in a dark, and we will get the two products, that is orthochlorotoluene and parachlorotoluene. Because this CH3 group is the electron donating group and it shows plus I effect, therefore this group is ortho-para-directory group, and therefore we will get two products, that is orthochlorotoluene as a minor product and parachlorotoluene as a major product, and here the byproduct is HCl. Simply here the one hydrogen of this benzene ring is removed, and there is a replacement of chlorine, and here also there is replacement of chlorine, and therefore formation of choice of HCl takes place. So this is about the electrophilic substitution reaction, and here we form the aryl chloride. Now in the next reaction is preparation of aryl bromide. The mechanism of this reaction is same. Here the electrophile formed is Br plus, and this Br plus attacks on this benzene ring, and then formation of carbocation takes place, and the next step is removal of proton, and this formation of these two products, that is orthobromotoluene and the parabromotoluene takes place, and here the byproduct is HBr, that is hydrogen bromide. Same reaction takes place here. Benzene reacts with bromine in presence of FeBr3 in a dark to get bromobenzene as a product, and HBr, that is hydrogen bromide, is formed as a byproduct of the reaction. The electrophilic substitution reaction is mainly used for the preparation of aryl halides. Next is preparation of aryl iodides. The reaction with iodine is reversible, hence to prepare aryl iodides, oxidizing agents like HNO3, HiO3 or HgO are used. Here I take the example benzene. I take the example of benzene. When benzene reacts with I2 molecule, this reaction is reversible reaction. Here we get iodobenzene and hydrogen iodide. Now this hydrogen iodide, which is byproduct of the reaction, is strong reducing agent. So it again reacts with this iodine molecule and forms I2. So the reaction is reversible. So to remove this reversibility of the reaction, we have to use the oxidizing agents like HNO3, HiO3 or HgO. And when we use these oxidizing agents, the reaction takes place in a forward direction. So why here we use the HNO3, HiO3 or HGO as a oxidizing agent to remove the effect of this reducing agent and to carry out the reaction in a forward reaction. So this is the use of HNO3, HiO3 and HGO in this reaction, and reaction is carried out in the forward direction. So here we completed the electrophilic substitution. In this method we see three methods of preparation, that is preparation of aryl chloride, preparation of aryl bromide and preparation of aryl iodide. Preparation of aryl fluoride cannot be prepared by this method as a fluorine is highly reactive. As fluorine is highly reactive, we can't prepare aryl fluorides from this method, that is by electrophilic substitution reaction. Next method of preparation is Sandmeier's reaction. This is the last method of preparation of the halogen derivatives. In this Sandmeier's reaction, aniline is treated with sodium nitrite to give diazonium salt. Firstly, we treated aniline with sodium nitrite to give diazonium salt, which is then treated with cuprous chloride or cuprous bromide and gives the corresponding aryl halide. So this is the example. This is the structure of the aniline. This aniline reacts with this sodium nitrite at a suitable temperature, that is 273 to 278 Kelvin, and we will get the benzene diazonium halide, that is diazonium salt. This diazonium salt, when we react this diazonium salt with cuprous chloride or cuprous bromide, we will get the corresponding aryl halide and N2, that is nitrogen, as the byproduct of this reaction. So you have to remember that in Sandmeier's reaction we react diazonium salt with a cuprous halide and we will get the corresponding aryl halide. Now this is the general reaction, and here we take the example. Now here I take benzene diazonium chloride, that is N2 plus Cl minus. This reacts with Cu2Cl2, that is cuprous chloride, and we will get this is benzene, and we will get chlorobenzene as the product of this reaction. We will get chlorobenzene here, and N2 is, that is nitrogen, is the byproduct of this reaction. So you have to remember that in Sandmeier's reaction you first have to form benzene diazonium halide, that is diazonium salt from aniline, and this benzene diazonium salt reacts with corresponding cuprous halide to get corresponding aryl halide. So here we completed the methods of preparation for the halogen derivatives. Next we will see the physical properties of the halogen derivative, that is alkyl halide. Now the first is nature of intermolecular forces. First property is nature of intermolecular forces. Now you know that carbon halogen bond is a polar, because halogen is more electronegative than carbon. Why the carbon halogen bond is polar? Because halogen is more electronegative than carbon. The carbon atom shows a partial positive charge and halogen atom shows a partial negative charge. Now this carbon shows partial positive charge because of this electronegativity of this halogen atom, and halogen is partially positive. The CX bond is formed by overlap of sp3 orbital of carbon atom with half p orbital of halogen atom. Now this CX bond is formed by partial overlap of sp3 orbital of carbon atom and half p orbital of halogen atom. The size of the halogen atom increases from fluorine to iodine, which increases the CX bond length. Now, as the size of halogen atom, you know that the size of halogen atom increases from fluorine to iodine, and therefore the bond length between C and X, that is carbon and halogen, increases as fluorine increases from fluorine to iodine. And as the bond length increases, you know that bond strength decreases. Therefore, the last point is, larger the size of the halogen, greater is the bond length, and as the greater is the bond length, minimum is the bond strength. Hence, the order of CX bond strength is CH3X, that is CH3F. The bond strength of CH3F is greater than CH3Cl, is greater than CH3Br, and is greater than CH3I. So, the bonds, you know that bond strength is opposite to bond length. As bond length increases, bond strength decreases. So this is about the nature of intermolecular forces. Next is physical state. Lower members are gases. Lower members of these halogen derivatives are gases, and higher members are liquids or solids. As the group increases, lower members are gases, then the higher members are liquids, and then more higher members are solid of this type. Then many volatile halogen compounds have sweet smell. You know that many volatile halogen compounds have a sweet smell. So this is about the physical state. Third is the boiling point. The boiling point of alkyl halides are higher than corresponding hydrocarbons due to high molecular mass and greater polarity. You know that boiling points increases as the molecular mass increases. So the boiling points of alkyl halides are obviously greater than the hydrocarbons, and because of high molecular mass, greater polarity, and the intermolecular forces of attraction are stronger. In alkyl halides, the intermolecular forces of attraction are also stronger than hydrocarbons. Next is boiling points of alkyl halides having same alkyl group decreases in order as CH3I is greater than CH3Br, is greater than CH3Cl, and is greater than CH3F. Why these boiling points or decreases in this order? Because the size of the halogen atom decreases here, and the size of the halogen atom or the molecular or the molar mass of this halogen atom decreases. Atomic mass decreases, the boiling points also decreases because the molecular mass of this compound also decreases. So these boiling points are depending on the size of the halogen atom. So the larger the size of the halogen atom, more is the boiling point of that compound. Next is, in case of isomeric alkyl halides, the boiling points of alkyl halide decreases with increase in branching. You know that in isomeric alkyl halide, the boiling points of alkyl halide decreases with increase in branching. As the branching increases, the boiling points decreases because the surface area also decreases, and therefore the intermolecular forces of attraction are decreases. Here I take the example. Here this is the straight chain compound, that is boiling point of this bromobutane is 375 Kelvin. Now in this example, here we take the isobutyl bromide. This is the example of the isobutyl bromide, and because of branching here, boiling point get decreased, that is 364 Kelvin. And this is the this is the tertiary butyl bromide, and because of the branching here also the boiling point decreases. So the boiling point decreases when the branching increases. Next is the melting point. The isomeric diazobenzenes have nearly the same boiling points, but melting points of these isomers show variation. So the isomeric dihalobenzenes have nearly the same boiling points, but melting points of these isomers show variation, because melting point of para isomer is quite high compared to that of the ortho or meta isomer. This is because of its symmetrical structure, which can easily pack closely in crystal lattice. Now the para isomer is symmetrical because para isomer of any halo is symmetrical, and therefore melting point of para isomer is higher than that of the ortho or meta isomer. As a result, intermolecular forces of attraction are stronger, and therefore greater energy is required to overcome its lattice energy. Because of this symmetrical nature, intermolecular forces of attraction are stronger, and therefore greater energy is required to overcome its lattice energy, because this is in crystal structure. So here we take some examples: ortho-dichlorobenzene, meta-dichlorobenzene, and para-dichlorobenzene. Now you will observe that the boiling points are nearly same. That is, ortho-dichlorobenzene have 453 Kelvin, meta-dichlorobenzene have 446 Kelvin, and para-dichlorobenzene have 448 Kelvin. But the melting point shows variations. Ortho-dichlorobenzene have 256 Kelvin, meta-dichlorobenzene have 249 Kelvin, and para-dichlorobenzene have 323 Kelvin. Why this para-dichlorobenzene shows higher melting point? Because of its symmetrical structure. This is closely packed, and therefore intermolecular forces of attraction are stronger, and therefore greater energy is required to overcome its lattice energy. So therefore the melting point of para-dichlorobenzene is higher than that of the ortho-dichlorobenzene and meta-dichlorobenzene. Next and last in the physical properties is solubility. Alkyl halides are slightly soluble in water due to intermolecular forces of attraction, but they are highly soluble in organic solvents. Now these alkyl halides are slightly soluble in water. Why these are slightly soluble in water? Because they cannot form a hydrogen bond with the water. So as alkyl halides are slightly polar, they are not soluble in water due to intermolecular forces of attraction, but they are highly soluble in non-polar organic solvent. They are highly soluble in non-polar organic solvents. Aryl halides are soluble in aryl halides are soluble in organic solvent. So this is about the solubility. So here the methods of preparation of the halogen derivatives and the physical properties of the halogen derivative. So this is for today. Thank you.